And also, okay, recording already started, and let's start. Okay, I will invite everyone to check my list, press F and check Champions Aldo, and I will read my updates here. So my updates from the initiative A. Sorry, I haven't write the updates, but there's not much an update here, and I will um, change the product photo to have some branding on it, changing the background and also adding the logo. That's the update from MA 3.0. I'm continuing to MA 1.2, networking to answer questions rebrand. My updates here, I still progressing on the paper, and my update is one of today's meeting topic with AB Chen is about rebranding. I'm not sure that she has the track record of doing rebrand, but I will proceed to ask about her experience on rebrand and what does she think about doing rebrand? What is the consideration? That's the update from MA 1.2. Continuing to MD 4.0, networking to answer questions, social media management. Today's meeting will I will postpone the today's meeting is postponed to 4 p.m. And my updates here, I will add the target audience to pass our past guests who are social media influencers to get their insights about managing social media and increasing the followers and engagement. I think that's all from my updates. I will, if everyone has feedback on me, just write on the comments. And I will invite everybody to uncheck my list. And we're going to check the again.
Okay.
And to the
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. All right, I will start with the initiative A, card NA 1.3, the website migration. So yesterday I had the breakout meeting with Rizal and Dani, and we also already set our progresses as well. And the next milestone will be Rizal will finish the vector and mockup, plus exploring the form option for the new landing page. And I will revise the content and copy for the management property. And Dani will start layouting the section and content on Elementor. If you want to drill down, I attached the paper on the comment section as well. And our next meeting will be on the next Wednesday to keep up with the progress and milestone as well. Move on to the initiative B, the virtual 360 tour. So I already practiced doing this at my home. It's pretty much easy to use, but indoors is quite tricky actually, and probably the drawbacks is like the quality of a phone. I know that camera is a bit tricky, and the easier ways to use phone, but yeah, the quality is also things that is lacking in using a phone. But I think it can still doable. Like for MVP, we can still use phone for like a couple of the properties. And talking about the properties, the priority list changed because previously Tandy give me the priority list based on the most inquired place, but this most inquired place not necessarily is always a property that most requested as a on-site visit. So I asked, well, what's the property that is most requested for on-site visit? Is actually the properties that Nadine and the team advertise on Facebook, and I have the list already. So I will pivot to focus on the most requested for the on-site visit property list. So yeah, that's the update for this card. And for initiative C, I have no updates yet, so I will skip and move on to the initiative D, which is the card MD 2.1. It is the first proof of concept for the app. And I had the discussion. I joined the community Scrum yesterday, but I think they're still confused on how to set up the meetings with the owner. So Pratik want to discuss first with the community team, and they suggested to so how they usually conduct a meeting and setting up with owner is actually they just flash the info at this state. We want to have a meeting about the app, and then just see who's coming into that who's coming into that meetings. I want to try a different approach. So instead of like waiting for that kind of approach, I attach some paper in the comment. If you would click to the paper that on the user adoption planning that I made. So instead of like waiting for that, I prepared on the product development side, on the product development team, I prepared the live features and the new features that I would like to announce and educate the owners with. And then instead of waiting who will come to the meeting, I will specifically requested this for really targeted so-called random sampling, but with the criteria of one guest house owner Balinese or Indonesian, and one guest house owner from foreigner, one villa owner local, and one villa owner foreigner as well. So yeah, that's the plan that I will specifically request for this, so that we have a really apa namanya, random sampling that represented our current owner as well. If you have any advice though, just comment on this card as well. So yeah, that is the update from my pivot cards. Back to chat.
Okay, thank you, Diba. My comment for you is that please heads up of the limitation on your live feature and what the community wants to announce to the property partners.
Yeah, I asked specifically to like if I prefer to have a separate meetings, so not a joint meeting with other topics. So I already addressed that to Rafiq as well. So yeah, but yeah, I agree on your heads up.
Great. Okay, thank you, Diba, for the updates. And I will invite everyone to uncheck Diba's list and go to Mas Gani's list. Okay, Mas Gani, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to give the update from the initiative B. The card is MB 3.0, a monthly rate and CSE campaign on Facebook and Instagram. So the update is yesterday I already post the Villa Bodas poster campaign on group Jimbaran Bali Housing Group and on the Facebook BV page. And in this morning, we got one inquiry that there is someone that bargain price at 12 million already handled by Nadine for Villa Bodas. Yeah, and then for tomorrow plan, I will create and publish poster campaign maybe of Rakarai Villa with a lower price since last week we got the two inquiries from previous post by Nadine. If you guys any suggestion which property that should I create the poster, just comment on the card. Okay, thank you. And moving on to initiative C, the card is MC 3.1 about the Instagram and Facebook brand awareness. So the update is uh, I got some comment from Jing, opportunity to do better on Facebook. And decide what purpose of this channel, the intended audience. So at the May, we decided the audience on Facebook is a property owner, but since Rizal ran the Facebook ads too and got a lot of engagement. But lately, I noticed our audience is future guests as well. Since Nadine got a lot of inquiries, Facebook optimization and market discovery. So I think the audience it could be property owner and future guests. If you have some thought or some comment, just comment on the card. Oh yes.
Actually, I think this is actually a great opportunity for a discussion. So I'd like to mark it on the discussion for a discussion about how we select an audience for a particular channel.
Okay.
Okay.
So what time, sir, you would like?
Slot one with the entire marketing team. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. So that's from Facebook, yeah. So and the next is I will have some discussion with Kezia, the pre-com meeting, and about the increased engagement by guest reach out and doing content research on Instagram. So the time is maybe at 11 p.m. The intended result will be we will doing the Instagram content research to answer this question like what type of content that guests like and need, how we produce or created it, and when is the best time guests will consume and create a better flow on guest reach out. Yeah, I think that's it from my update. Thank you. Back to Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. I have questions for the meeting that Jing has said. Is it on the discussion management or it's another? Okay, great. Okay, I think that's it from Mas Gani. I will invite everyone to uncheck Mas Gani's list, and we're going to Jing's list.
Okay, thank you very much. So my update is pretty simple. I spoke with, okay, for Russian title translation, this is MV 2.2. I spoke with Kezia, and we've actually created a new pivot. This is a new card, and what we're doing now is we're extending the Russian translation, not just to the title, but also to the snippet, to the first 140 character description of the listing. These are the first two contact points that most people will see at the impression level to make a decision whether or not to stay in our property. So we're extending that. And okay, all right, so Kezia has done 60 listings and we'll start translating the snippets to Russian today. Thank you very much, Kezia. All right, moving on to first interviews with property owners in Bali. So this is in collaboration with Diva Side. I've got two people. Gary is he's actually kind of an interesting character. He's in the third persona bucket. So he's a Jakarta owner who develops in Bali, sort of like Ibu Lily, I guess. And John Wolfert is one of the new type of owners. I believe everyone here remembers John Wolfert from Bridge Street, CMO. So I'd like to actually reach out to John Wolfert again and see if he'd be interested in talking about product research and see if his company or his apartment would actually use our product. I think that is looking at, let's say, a future type of clientele. If that works, then that would be really good. That means we have product market fit around large-scale apartment block owners, and we can target them easily. We can target them easily, not using Facebook ads, but we can just use a website and a phone call to target these people. Okay, so the crucial step in getting B2B partnerships is actually proof of market, proof of consumer. Okay, so this one I'll follow up with them myself. I've met John and I've met Gary, so I'll get the contact. The first interviews with Thailand, okay, this is what I'm thinking. I'd like to get Ferris, I think is pretty much in at this point. I looked at all his reviews, so I'd like to work with Ferris on interviewing Thai property developers. So the point is to find a single Thai property developer, get them in a video call or a phone call, and ask them would they use this product. Okay, that's the updates on my initiatives.
Okay, thank you, Jing, for the updates. I think from the property owners, you can also add Musa because he is the one of he has the company that virtual rental management too, and maybe we can add him on the list.
Aldo, who is that again? Misha?
Musa Samake.
Oh yeah, that's right, Musa. Yeah, good point. Okay, yeah, Musa, the first guy.
Yeah, the first guy. Yeah, okay. I think that's all from Jing's update. Let's uncheck Jing's list and let's go to Kezia, I think. Yeah, Kezia. I will check Kezia's list and yeah, Kezia, please, the floor is yours. Hello, Kezia. Kezia. Once, twice. Okay, I think it's just not showing up. I think she has trouble with connection. I will read the update. The update here is 80% of the video has been revised, and she will put down the link of the video here as soon as possible. And also, she will explore ideas about the Instagram's content for future guests with Mas Gani. I think that's all from her update. Kezia, any updates beside your active or your comment on the cards? One. Okay, Kezia, I think if you have any other updates beside from what you are writing on the card, let's just keep on the updates on the card. Okay, thank you. I will uncheck Kezia's list and I will check Mas Rizal's list of projects. Yeah, Mas Rizal, first.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. And start from the initiative A from card MA.4.1. So I just read yesterday. I just read the Jing's comment about work faster using professional working. Maybe I will join the assist with Faris too, so I can learn how to reach out the property developer instead of using ads. So yeah, that's my next plan, and I will move to the another card. It's from MA.2.2. So my update is the ads plan is already created, and if you can see it on the comment, I already assigned the audience that is located in Jakarta, Singapore, and Bali, and the budget is $5 for daily, and then $2.5 in each ad set, and then choose target for bidding. And then it running on the 10 days, and also I create the A/B testing comparison from ad set A and D. If you can, if you want to see the drill down on the paper, I create comparison from the message variable, and also using single format and carousel format for the photos. I think that's for my update. Okay, and the next to initiative C from MC 6.0, produce content to introduce our new branding. It's on the progress for creating a storyboard right now. So I will move to the next card in initiative D, hotel partner card. My update is I still continue to edit the proposal with 4.0 service, and yeah, that's my update. I just adding some bigger mock-up for this pitching deck. Yeah, I think that's all from my update. Back to the chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mas Rizal, for the updates. I will uncheck Mas Rizal's list and going to Mo Wayans. Do you have any update, Mo?
Yeah, I have update here. So what I did is that I pinged Biba on the card that I needed to make a listing, and also I do a content request so that it's go to the system. And then so what I did a post today, and Nadine had inquiry, so I post Nadine inquiry, and then I got one. Somebody get back to me actually from the inquiry. I will pass that Pila to Nadine. So that's my update.
Can we add the names of the properties that you're bringing in?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I have a worksheet like.
Okay, back to the chair.
It's like this. So it in my work.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Moen, for the updates. I think that's all from the Scrum. Ms. Secretary, could you read the summary of the breakout meetings that will happen today?
Yeah, I already wrote the summaries on the meeting notes, and so far today we don't have any breakout meetings. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And okay, Mas Gani. Mas Gani, you're muted.
Yeah, actually, I have a breakout meeting with Kezia, and I already
Oh,
note on my card on the Instagram.
okay, okay,
And
okay. Give me a
Facebook
minute.
awareness, I already note on the card. Yeah,
Okay, sorry I missed that.
it's okay.
Okay, okay,
All
okay,
right.
okay. Moving on from the Scrum to the discussion management. Okay, I will share my screen. So the topic that we will be discussing about is the topic that we were talking about yesterday, and it's postponed. Maybe Mas Rizal, could you refresh our mind on what decision that we postponed yesterday?
Yeah. Basically just from the picking the champion of the mission, and I believe yesterday be still difficult to which mission that fit with person that champion of in each initiative. I believe I don't know how to pick the champion of this initiative. So maybe I will ask Jing or Mr. Chair to conduct the champion
Okay,
picking.
before we get to the Jing, does anyone has any ideas on how to pick to nominate the champion of each initiative? Going to Mas Gani, okay, Mas Gani.
I think the person that will what is it? The champion of its initiative is a person that have more experience than others. Like on the initiative A, acquire property users anywhere. I think Mas Rizal have more experience than anybody. And yeah, that's what I found based
Okay,
on the experience.
thank you, Mas Gani. Maybe Diba, do you have any in mind about how to nominate the champion? No, okay. Maybe we get back to Jing. Do you have any things in mind?
Okay. One of the first things, I guess, is to actually just double check if we remember the mission. Let's go over to Aldo. Aldo, what are the two branches of the mission for marketing? What are we looking to do?
It's about the acquiring property anywhere and also
And the second part?
maintaining high rank listing.
That maybe is a submission, right? The second is anybody? Acquire property anywhere is part one, and then the second part. Let's go over to Rizal.
Finding product market fit.
Discover the best properties, right? So yes, that actually falls under product market fit. So finding the best properties in the world is part of product market fit, right? Okay, so I think right now what we have is we have a little bit of we don't have actually a support structure now to support the main missions. The main mission is an initiative now, which is kind of odd, I think, in a way, because it represents what you should have at an initiative level is what are we going to do to actually acquire any property anywhere. So let's say there's a few things that we can do, right? One is we could probably work on, you're beginning to see it already, right? You're beginning to see it already. One is, let's say, using online methods to target properties anywhere in the world. And that is Rizal's initiative. So he's using online methods to target properties in the world. The other one seems to be coming also from Aldo. Aldo's building networking skills. And so this can be useful in a number of ways. This can provide that, I think, product fit guidance, right? So as soon as we find, let's say, think of the process as a little bit like a seed, fertilizer, and growth, right? Without a seed, there's no point in pumping a lot of fertilizer into the ground. So the seed is sort of like the first step. It's sort of like where Aldo's at right now. You're going to find a person who is actually a potential to get to that market. Now, the first step is to understand something about the market. So we ask for mentors, we ask for guidance. But the second step, I think, is go and actually find a person, right? Go and actually find a property owner. Go and actually find an Italian or a Spanish person. And it's not hard. You just go on Craigslist on these countries and you look for somebody who has a house for rent and you make an appointment to video call them, and they'll be far happier to speak with you than I'm sure a regular, through professional networking. They say, can I talk to you? I might have an idea of how to produce revenue for your property. So bingo, right? So once you start talking to, let's say, a person, then you're looking for product market fit. Once you have that persona, right, go keep on looking for more personas until Aldo, it gets boring, until you start realizing you've discovered all the personas. You discovered that your Italians are always 50 to 60, they're always female, they have a family that left and lives in a different city, and they live all by themselves, right? So I think then that information can go back to Rizal, right? Rizal then has a persona. He knows exactly what kind of person could potentially, so that's fertilizer. But you need a seed first, right? You need a seed. Advertising is always fertilizer. If you put fertilizer out on the ground and you have no seeds, then it doesn't grow. So what I see what we're happening right now is we're throwing fertilizer in, but we don't know where the seeds are. So this is where product market fit begins. Let's go and find somebody who says, yes, that would totally solve my problem. What you're selling me is absolutely something I would use. And then, great, okay, let's find more people like that person. And repeat, and find 10,000 more people like that person, okay? So I think these are different ways of acquiring property anywhere, but they have to be done in the correct sequence and in the correct spirit. It's okay, Rizal. What you're doing now is fine. Don't stop. Like I noticed about like finding the property developer. Property developers have websites and phone numbers. You just call them up, right? And you wouldn't need to advertise to them. You could just seek them out. But the idea of what you're doing is that you are getting skills now on how to use Facebook. Just like Gunny is getting skills now on how to use Instagram and Facebook and do branding. So those skill sets, please continue, because even if we found the seed and you didn't know how to use the fertilizer, it still wouldn't work, right? So still continue doing that, but more of it's like about building skills. Diva doing the landing page, yes, it's more about getting the skills. But actually to complete the mission, I think we need to work collaboratively to think about what step of the mission interlocks with the next step of the mission. Okay, so Rizal, I think his initiative is actually using fertilizer, right? So let's just say scaling our product market fit. So how can we use online tools to scale what we have? Aldo's mission, I think, is to find the first of each person. How can we find the first PR person to plant into the, how can we find the first PR people to ready our marketplaces, right? So that people have heard of Bukit Vista already. How then can we use online marketing result to spread and scale up that PR so that we take what they say about us and we drive it out even further so that more people see that, okay? And then Gani, how can then we use branding to enhance that message that we're going to drive out so that when we spend money on an ad, we're getting more conversions, we're getting more people to see, understand the Bukit Vista brand. And Diva, when they start finally arriving on our website, what then? Will they actually buy, or will they just walk off and not know what's going on? So I think in terms of this, you guys have a team that everyone is, you guys are like Fantastic Four or Fantastic Five. And or you're like the X-Men, right? That's a better analogy because X-Men keep on having more and more people. But you got to kind of realize what your specialty and your strength is and how that can integrate into everybody else's work, and also be imaginative and see like, oh yeah, this helps drive that, okay? So I think once that fluency comes around, then the interconnections will happen a lot more, and the pivots will also start growing. You should be getting to pivot number 110, right? That indicates that that's a very successful pivot, because it means that like same first number, 2.110. that means you've already have matured down one particular idea, but you kept on adding new great ideas to it. Okay. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're getting more and more horizontal. You're trying a lot of ideas, but you're not really building any idea into a business. Okay. So maintain high rank listing is yes, it's relevant to the Airbnb side, but I think it's also Deepa's working on a different stage of the funnel, which is how to convert the traffic to actual business, right? How to control traffic onto the site into actual business. What Rizal's working on is how to get traffic into a market, and what Aldo's working on right now and Gani is how to create brand awareness in the market so that we can find our first customers, and also the feedback cycle later to get customer feedback to redirect our design. We need customer feedback to tell us, okay, is the website landing page look good to you? Does that sound like something you would use? Do these ads entice you to do anything? Right now we're operating kind of like, we're operating with a little bit of data, but there could be things that the data is not telling us, right? Yeah, the data doesn't tell you what you don't know. The data only tells you what you can see, but it doesn't tell you, could you have used a different photo that resonates? Okay, so think about that. And I want you guys to struggle through this, really. I'm providing some framework, but in order for, let's say, leadership potential and vision to occur, you guys have to struggle through it too, right? You guys really have to think about, what am I good at? What are my teammates good at? Where are we going? And how do we actually get there? And to add to what Gani said, it is about experience, but it's also really important to have vision and clarity about not just what happened before, but what needs to happen in the future, okay? So keep chewing on this. There's no rush to make a decision. I want you guys, I don't want to give you the answers and skip the learning process, okay? So I need you guys to chew it over, think about it, and then come back when, this is the hardest part, like I said, of leadership. It's taking the really uncertain parts, the really vague, and making it synthesized into things that are actionable. And that's something we all need training with, systematic level thinking, okay? Back to the chair.
Okay, thank you. So, regards of the initiative itself, I think the takeaways, it is there. I think the initiatives that written here needs to be break down again, and using the experience and our skills and what we are good at. So I think that is on this research topic. There is no decision again today, and we'll be continuing on. And I think the solution is try to add another initiatives that maybe that you're good at and your experience at in that. Okay, I think that's all from this topic, and I will start with I will continue on my research thread. It's about enhancing the secretary role. This is what I got from VD's from internal tools talk yesterday. I get a talk with VD, and this talk about this is the talk about that he's concerned about the documentation of our breakout meetings on Google Calendar, because we're not documenting our Google our breakout meetings in Google Calendar. So what I think to answer this concern, I would like to enhance the secretary role about creating the breakout meetings on Google Calendar, and the updates on the Trello card will be written by the champion that want to have the breakout meetings, and the secretary will just copy the internet result, the time, the channel to the Google Calendar to invite the people there. I think that's all from me. Any thoughts about this? Okay, going to be.
Aldo, okay, great initiative, great idea. How will we actually do this? Because the secretary is going to be done by everybody. So what would you like us to do?
Sorry, sir.
Aldo, what would you like the secretary to do?
I would like the secretary to create the Google Calendar meeting on the Google Calendar.
Okay.
It's based on the Trello card, the breakout meetings that written on the Trello card by the is champions that wants to create the breakout meetings. Is it possible? Is it efficient? Maybe going to everyone, Mas Dani?
So what you mean is at the end of Scrum, usually secretary will read the summary of breakout meeting, right? And instead of just reading the breakout meeting, the secretary can also create the breakout meeting on Google Calendar. Is that what you mean?
Mm, what I mean is, so the announcing the breakout meetings is still there,
Uh-huh.
and 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 writing the Google and we're moving the culture of creating the breakout meetings on the cards, which work by secretary, move to the Google Calendar.
Okay.
And the breakout meetings itself that you want to create, it's created by the champion or the person that want to have the breakout meetings. So secretary will just copy it
I see. Okay.
and give the order.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Any thoughts again, Mas Rizal?
Yeah, I think when the secretary will create the breakout meeting, I think it will crush the people that create the event, create the breakout meeting instead of the secretary itself. No, it
Hmm,
will crash. It will apa sih?
what?
Benturan gitu loh, yang pembuatnya kan kadang yang sekretari kan. Jadi ini yang bikin meeting nih Aldo apa Rizal kok yang bikin sekretari gitu.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Anyone have any thoughts about that? The solution about it? Yeah,
I understand what Rizal means. So if the secretary is the one that make it on the GCal, they will automatically also invite themselves into the meetings as well. You can only add guests. You cannot set up meetings, right? But what do you think about we just swap your idea? So the champion is the one that will create on GCal, and the secretary that is the one that work on the Trello card, maybe.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Swapping the okay. I think we'll go to the bus thought, and we'll practice it on Monday and see how it goes. Okay. Thank you. I think that's all. That's all the research. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Kezia.
Hello.
Sorry.
I want to maybe I want to share my thoughts. Like the point, like secretary will record the breakout meeting on. No. I mean like maybe the secretary can booking the next the next meeting Scrum before it happen, like maybe tomorrow, but today the secretary will book on Google Calendar, like tomorrow we will have the M Scrum and start from what time until what time, and the next we will start the discussion management paper, start from what time until what time, like that. Maybe secretary can have that role. I think like the booking all marketing teams calendar into one. So yeah, something like that. Thank you.
Is it about the DM Scrum itself or what? Kezia? Or is it about the breakout meetings too?
What?
Is it about the DM?
Like what we have. Oh, the DM.
No, I mean the to schedule it one day before. Um is it for the Scrum or the breakout meetings?
Oh, only the Scrum.
I think the Scrum is
I
already
mean.
created, already scheduled on the browsing app. Do you get it or not?
Oh, Okay, I get it.
Okay, okay, okay. I think that's all from the thread of this secretary role. Continuing to Jing about the new arrivals.
Okay. Let's, if I may, let's go to the audience for a particular
Okay.
channel. I'd like
Okay.
to prioritize that first. So this is in regards to Gadi's question, right? And this is a great question. So think about this: should Facebook be optimized right now? Okay, so we have a decision to make. We need to pick an audience for our channel. So we have on one side we have property owners. On the other side we have guests. So we should decide, right? Are we going to have property owners, guests, or both? Okay, over to I don't know. Let's go to Aldo.
Okay, would you repeat the question again? I don't get it.
Okay, so we have to decide an audience for Facebook, right? Okay, so we have to decide what is our audience. Is it going to be property owners, guests, or both?
For myself, I think the audience itself, from the page itself, it should be the property owners, but the guests you can do it on the Facebook groups, and it's not being the page itself. If you get what I mean.
Okay, all right. Let's go to. Does anybody here have a different opinion than what Aldo just said? Let's go to Gani.
Okay, so I think it could be both.
Okay.
Because I see what our activities that we have done, like result run the ad and result targeting the owners and Italy and somewhere. And also I see on the Nadine activity and Lily's activities on the each group of community that
Okay.
the RM targeting the guests that still finding the cheap accommodation, right? So it will be.
Excellent. Okay, interesting. Very good, very good. Let's get those opinions in. Does anybody have an opinion that is different than Aldo or Gani at this point? No? Okay, all right. Diva, who's right, Aldo or Gani?
Right or wrong. Actually, I want to challenge an idea of like, why should we consider only one particular audience, and why should we, or should we like diversify? I would actually like want to dig deeper more on that, and to challenge the idea. Is targeting one audience for Facebook is the correct mindset to have for this particular moment? Yeah.
Well, that's it, right? So it could be both, or it could be one or the other, right? So the end decision is we either decide to target owners, guests, or both, right? So that is essentially no matter what we do, those are the controls that we have. So which side are you on? Which decision do you support?
I think at this moment, I would not be picky right now, and I think I will open both door, because both door right now is
Okay.
getting traction.
So in favor of Gani's idea, basically both, right? Okay. All right. Let's go to Rizal. Rizal, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I have same idea with Mas Gadi, because with targeting property owner with Facebook ads, and also targeting the future guests with the easy Facebook algorithm that use group and also private message that can important to the future guests.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Kezia. Kezia, who do you think is right?
I think Mas Gani idea it's okay.
Okay. All right. Here's what I think. Remember, think about it from a user perspective, okay? Why are you following our Facebook page, Gani? Why are you following our Facebook page, Rizal? It's to get content that matters to you. Then we need to ask ourselves, Does the content that serves an owner actually serve a guest? Hey, we can take your property and make revenue from it. I don't care. I'm coming to Bali to actually hang out and party with my friends, right? I'm coming to Bali with my family. So when you start posting content, right, and you want followers and you want growth on a specific channel, then you have to be very, very specific and very intentional about the audience you provide. Because if you've noticed any success on, let's say, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, generally they're very, very specific about the audience they provide. And why are they specific? Because they know that 100 people who love you are going to be a lot better than millions of people who like you. 100 really engaged followers who are commenting, liking, sharing your stuff every single day will accelerate growth on your social media faster than just 1 million people who slightly engage with you every now and then, right? We kind of discovered that on LinkedIn, and we know that actually think about your heroes on YouTube or whatever. Why do you like them so much? It's because they're very niche, right? They don't appeal to just everyone. They appeal to you. They appeal in your language. Why can there be actually almost 80 different types of vloggers coming to Bali? Isn't one enough? Isn't just one person saying, hey, here's what Bali is? No, because each person is very niche and they talk about it from their perspective that appeals to their demographic, right? So when you think about, let's say, a particular channel here, think about if you are a guest, would you want to receive regular updates about, hey, Italian property owners, please come and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It would be boring. It would not be helpful for your life, right? But if you're an owner, would you like to receive updates about, hey, our latest offer on this is this? Not relevant to you, right? We're offering a free stay at one of our properties here. Well, I'm not in the market to travel right now. So I think we have to be actually intentional. Every platform that chooses, let's say, a multiverse of people, they unify them from a single problem. Is everybody sharing the same problem? If they are, then we can include them all. But if they're not, then it probably doesn't make sense to put two audiences together. It's like radio, right, Diva? You don't play two different types of music on one radio channel because people who want to listen to dubstep don't want to hear country music on their radio, right? People who want to listen to Dum-Doo don't want to hear EDM music. So I think this is actually an exercise, and it's a necessary exercise. I agree with Aldo. I think Aldo's right. We have to choose a specific audience, and we have to figure out which audience that works. Now, Rizal and Gadi are right. We do have, let's say, occasional audience that come by to Bukit Vista Facebook as guests. But do these people have a temporary engagement with us or a lasting engagement with us, right? Like Airbnb. People come into Airbnb, they engage with us, and then they leave. Do they come back and become our followers and check out what new properties we're releasing every week? They don't, right? So on Airbnb, we're just simply transacting to guests. On Facebook, we are transacting with guests, but we can build relationship and community with owners. And that is the point of a social media channel, is how do you build a community, right? Okay, so I think that's, that was my thought. That's my wisdom there. Let's go over and let's see, does anybody have any comments about that? Am I right? Am I wrong? Let's go over to Gadi.
I still think about it, sir. I mean, like, at some point that Facebook is useful for a building community. Yes, it's absolutely great idea. But then, what things that I consider both is I see that a lot of potential guests is using Facebook as well to find information about the accommodation. So that's the only thing that I still consider to doing both. So
Okay, all right, that's interesting. Then maybe what you can do, Gani, is this. Remember what we did with Instagram. We knew that when we posted an Instagram, at first we did not consider our audience, right? We're just posting whatever like we wanted to post. But then at some point, we split the Instagram into 2 accounts. We have BV Life and then the regular Instagram, right? Because we know that, hey, stuff that like about us hanging out, showing like how cool this company is, that has no impact to guests, right? That's just random stuff. That makes me want to unfollow you because I don't want to work at your company. I just want to go to Bali and have fun. So I think we have to be intentional about, let's say, the channel that we use. Yes, Facebook is a great source to, let's say, have guests discover us. Just like Instagram is a great source to have guests discover us. But is this channel that we're using right now, is it the composition? Are they mostly guests? Are they mostly owners? Is the activity that we're doing on a day-to-day basis with the content that we're providing, is it more for owner's sake or is it more for guest sake? Think about your content. Think about your messaging. All right. If your messaging is going to be mostly for owners, then you should target mostly owners. But if your messaging is mostly for guests, then you should target guests. And then what you need to ask is there anything that is compatible with each side? Is there content that serves a guest and an owner at the same time? And if you're truthful, I think you'll say, not really. There are very different objectives. They have very different problems. They have different information needs. So yes, you're right. The platform is I'd say, good for reaching guests, but maybe not this particular channel. If we want, we need to create a new channel on the platform to reach guests. But then that goes in prioritization, right? How often are we updating BV Life? Do we have the time to actually stream 2 different content streams to 2 different audiences? We might if we get more people here, right? But it's I think that part is important to keep in mind. Okay, let's go over to Diva. Diva, any thoughts?
I want to ask one question actually. Our current Facebook account, from our previous attempts of sending this message, the number of traction that we got from guests and the traction that we got from owner, which one is bigger so far?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Yes. So does that mean that the message that we crafted so far and this account is attracting guests more than owner? Or should we go to guests instead of owner? Then that is the proof of our idea that the Facebook is reaching guests more than the owner, right? Even though we're trying to reach this owner like what we want, but the one that comes back to us is guests.
That's up to us to decide, right? I think at this point, it's just like Instagram. Instagram, the majority of our audience were millennials and Denpasar. But is that what we want to have, right? Is that actually what we want to continue? So you're right. Maybe we're getting more guests on Facebook right now because we're targeting more guests and we're connecting with more guests through the ads and everything that we're posting. But is that actually where, let's say, the strategy should be for Facebook? Remember, let's say when things go back to normal, will we even want these guests on Facebook anymore? We probably will not, right? Because we'll get much more rentals from the day-to-day activity. So remember the time when guests coming on Facebook, they were a distraction, right? They're always asking for, these special deals, these special offers. We didn't listen to them because, of course, at that point it was a big distraction.
Nice. Yeah.
Now it's like, yeah, this is the only thing that's actually transacting. So now it's not a distraction. Now this is income. So I think we have to think about, like, let's say, not getting trapped in the short term. Like okay, this is what we're using it for now. But think about like where we're going to use it long term. Because remember, we're running ads on this, right? When you run ads, people are going to come back and they're going to look at your content. They're going to look at your page. They're going to say, hey, is this a company that I trust? Right? It's exactly what happens on LinkedIn. When we run ads on LinkedIn, people come to our LinkedIn page and this is why we started producing content for our LinkedIn page. It was really because so many people on the ads were checking out our LinkedIn page, and it was like stupid not to put up any content because people are going to want to scan and see what your company is about, what you're doing, what is it like to work there. So we can put up a lot of content. And that content starts getting organic traction too as well, which is actually pretty cool. And then we develop more audiences based on the ads that we are putting out there. So think about that. Think about if we're bringing in ads and we're targeting a lot of people who are potential owners to look at our Facebook page, and we continue running ads, it makes more sense to actually say, all right, let's change the content on our Facebook so that when somebody looks at our page, they see content that's helpful for owners, right? They see content that actually builds, let's say, things. Yanni, don't worry about it. We have a channel for guests. What's our channel for guests right now, Yanni?
Instagram, sir.
Right, and that's exactly what it's about. If we go on Instagram, we start putting up ads, Rizal, to try to target property owners. Do you think you would be successful? No, right? It's not the right channel for that type. So we have a channel for each thing. Instagram is a better fit for most guests. Guests like to share pictures on Instagram. They like to, go. So that's where our guests live, and that's where sort of the engagements happen. Facebook, let's face it, Facebook is for old timers like myself, right? It's not for young people who are. When I share, I generally share on Facebook my photos, and my older friends look at it on that specific channel. And let's face it, most property owners tend to be older. So that channel does naturally have a better fit, let's just say initially. It's not where we're getting the most traction now, but it's not about, once again, previous experience. It's about where we want to go to. Okay, let's go to Rizal. Any comments or questions?
Yeah, I think maintaining Facebook for the owner is like a long-term decision, and also if we choose a right audience, we also pick the best engagement for the best quality engagement for the channel itself.
Exactly. You want engagement. You don't want half your audience to ignore you and the other half to say you're great, right? You want everybody in your audience to say you're great. And that's what really sparks social media growth, getting people who are very passionate, and this is the community I belong to, right? Not like, what's this other half that they talk about that has nothing to do with me, okay? All right, so focus. That, I think, is the key to success on any marketing. If you've identified the right audience, the right message, in the right channel at the right time, then you will grow. Like our Airbnb group, like crazy, right? Because we did those steps right. Okay, all right, cool. This is important because this is strategy. And if we get the wrong strategy and the right execution, then ultimately we don't have what we're intending. And so that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you guide strategy. Okay? So, all right, hopefully that's a good takeaway. I think it is. Choose Facebook to target, let's say, owners for the time being, and use Instagram for guests for the time being. You can still engage with guests, I think, through Facebook, just like we would engage on guests on Instagram or whatever, on WhatsApp. But there is a certain, fit. And it's mainly to do with your content strategy. Where do you intend to post content, and how excited should your audience be to engage with that content? Okay? All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Jing, for the talk. And Mas Denny, did you get it? Did you get the conclusion already? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So I think that's all from the discussion meeting. I think we can start gather the feedback.